Hey guys, and welcome to game number 28 out of 100 of the Mack vs. Machine series, where I'll be playing 100 games of Scrabble against the top online Scrabble bot, HastyBot. We're now on a 6-game win streak. The score in the series is currently 17-10 in my favor, so hopefully we can keep up the good work here in game 28. I'm sure HastyBot will have something to say about that. He opens with Z, and we've got a nice rack to start things off here. Always great to see the blank, and our other tiles are pretty good too. D, E, T, all good bingo tiles. Unfortunately, I think the W and the Y are going to make this just a bit too clunky for a bingo. We almost have things like Tideway or Wantedly with an N or an L, but not quite going to happen. Probably just Yow is good here. This takes an E, so if he isn't able to block that, we have a great chance at hitting that and maybe double-doubling next turn. So this looks quite strong. We could also go with Dowdy through this D. Scores a couple more points. I guess you could make the argument that he is quite likely to have an E or an L or an S or something that goes after Yow and use that spot next turn. On the other hand, I could also see him just underlapping Z if he has an A and scoring there. So it's probably worth it just because the upside is so large. I'll be double-doubling there a large amount of the time if he doesn't use the spot. It's probably worth it to just play Yow is my guess. Also, Dowdy does give back this spot up here, which I don't love. It also gives back a big X-bomb potential with Ox. So I think I'm going to go ahead and play Yow. It seems a little bit better given our rack. Alright, and he does indeed leave that spot open by playing Blag. And we'll definitely be bingoing. The question is, are we double-doubling? So let's go through the alphabet. We have Mandate with an A. B, C, D, nothing. E, I think is nothing. F, G, H, I is Mediant. Also not a double-double. J, K, L, mantled. No, not a double-double. M, N, O. I don't think there's anything with an O. P, Q, R. S is tandems, also not a double-double. T, U is untamed. V, W, X, Y, Z. So I don't think we have a double-double, unfortunately. But we definitely will still have plenty of bingos. Probably just Mediant is fine. I'd love to not put a vowel next to this square, though, if we can. Untamed also gives back an X-bomb. Maybe tandems here? Yeah, tandems actually looks alright. Yeah, this is probably decent. I don't want to spend too much time on this in this decision, but yeah, I think this is decent. It doesn't, I guess it does give back this spot here. It doesn't give back a ton of floaters though, which is nice. It gives back a lot less bingos than the other plays, I'm pretty sure. So let's go ahead and do that. Oh my, okay, definitely getting some nice tiles this game. We'll be bingoing again with a draw of the second blank. Not seeing anything to or from this N. So we certainly... Oh, actually, wait, no, we have negative from this N. So that would score 77. Of course, we can play the same word through this V for a score of 76. So it's only a 1-point difference. Negative from the N is nice because it does take away this line. Of course, it gives back a slew of other lines on the bottom. So we're probably better off, given the lead we'll be taking, just playing through this V. There's also ergative and agentive, but negative is probably fine. Levitate is also there, but that gives back a lot of floaters and hooks. Because now if I do this, and if I can close up the N next turn, then the board is going to start getting closed pretty quickly. So I think for just one less point, I'm sort of giving him one shot to hit the N, and if not, I should be able to block it and really take control of this game, whereas the other negative just gives back a ton of lanes, especially that E on the bottom is nice and not that easy to block since I'll be putting a V right next to it, and it's hard to end in a V and impossible to parallel it since, of course, there are no two other words with a V. So I think just for long-term board structure for what I want, I should sacrifice the point and go here. Okay, and Don, that looks like a very questionable play, because he's sort of doing my job for me now, blocking this N. Of course, he could still end with the N, but that's not easy to do. So, let's see, we're up 7D. This board is already looking great from my perspective. Maybe just jut here, takes out a couple lines. Not too keen on this jut. I do take out the N, but I'm giving back a lot of easy 40-point plays here without saving an O. And there is still some value in blocking this T and maybe the A. So I think jut here looks pretty good. I mean, I'm going up 100 on a pretty closed board. Can't really complain too much. So yeah, I think let's go ahead and just do that. Looks quite good to me. And yeah, HastyBot is just basically playing right into what I want to do here. This board is already really bad, which I'm quite happy about. And I have no intention of opening it up at this point in the game. Yeah, so now I mean, all his bingos are probably going to have to be next to this S or somehow underlapping this Z. I could play XU here. It's interesting because it sets up my Y. Of course, it does set up an O too, and I'd rather not give that back, so I don't think I want to play XU there. Could just play XI over here. It opens nothing, just sort of force the issue, force him to open something up, and then hopefully score a lot with maybe Sulky next turn. I have Kylix, K-Y-L-I-X, but it doesn't play anywhere as far as I can tell. Is there anything with like Exo here that could be cool? Not seeing it. Anything from this N? I don't think so. Yeah, as much as the Oxy setup is nice, I'm not inclined to give him a spot to play with an O and open up more lanes there. So I'm going to just play XI. I think I mean, I'm going up 100 on this board. I feel like I should be in very commanding position. So let's just do that. He exchanges 3. Okay. Now, so I don't have a lot to work with here, but that's quite okay. Is there anything I'd want to block? I guess this line here, maybe? If it's easy to do. It might not be that easy to do, though. I'm not going to play something like Sus. I mean, that would be pretty funny, actually, because now it's like, where is he even bingoing? I mean, you have to bingo from this Z. It's actually worth noting the possibility of Z extensions, too, like IZED. That's actually something to worry about, because that would score 60 and also blow up a lot of lanes. So you could actually make an argument in favor of something like Bulky here. I mean, it looks counterintuitive, right, because it opens up all these lanes, but it does take out that possibility. And if I can dodge a bingo there and then just sort of play from one of these tiles and take out that lane, in the long run, I'll actually probably be giving myself a more closed board. So that's something to look at. Another thing to look at would be Godly, just to take away this line. But yeah, I mean, if he plays, I don't know, something like Humanize, I mean, that's going to be like 80, and that gets him right back into the game. I kind of want to block that, because there's all those eyes left. It's not that hard to hit. Huh. Yeah, I think I'm actually going to play Bulky here. I mean, I know it's a bit counterintuitive in the short term, but I think in the long term it'll give myself a better chance. Okay, so it sort of did backfire, right? He plays Currents, but now I can just sort of block through these tiles, and I don't think he's going to have anywhere to really bingo after that. I don't think I have any bingos here. Adrenals doesn't fit. No G for Garlands or I for Lanyards. So what if I just play something like, maybe from this, how about like Crawl? Yeah, I don't like giving back that spot, actually. You have to be a little careful here, because I don't want to give back a huge double line either. Gnarl? No, that's not a word. Yeah, I don't have any great plays through this E. I don't really want to play crawl and give back this spot either. But I'd love to play down from this K just to obstruct some of these lines. Huh. Yeah, I'm not particularly happy with any of my options here, to be honest. Yeah, I'm starting to regret bulky a little bit now. I probably should have just kept it more tight and not worried about this IZED possibility too much. I also just knew I was playing a bot who's going to find IZED words every time, whereas a human might not think of that spot or find plays there. So I don't think bulky was necessarily terrible. It's just probably hindsight bias. But now I'm definitely in more of a stressful situation than I probably needed to be in. I'm also getting low on time. Do I just leave this open and play something like Glah and keep a good lead, maybe? I really hate Crawl, just as it gives him back possibilities to score here and set up another line. I guess, though, let's see. So if I play Crawl, I guess if he scores here, I should be able to deal with everything pretty well. So it's probably just better for long-term defense. Yeah, alright, let's go ahead and do that. Because, yeah, now he plays something like Miri, and there is this Mirin hook, but... Or Mirid, actually, for that matter. Now... Yeah, now the problem is it's a little hard for me to deal with. Because if I play something with Mirid, then there's the Mirid's hook. Same with Mirin. Yeah, I might be forced to just sort of leave this open and try to outrun now. Yeah, this is definitely getting a bit uncomfortable. Let's see. What do I want to do? Do I want to just play something like Wad and force him to hit the S immediately? I probably do. Yeah, I probably want to do that. So I do score, and it's pretty unlikely he'll be able to start the bingo with an S. So I'd rather force him to hit immediately, and if not, I'll hit it next turn. So let's... Maybe down? Maybe down is better. No, I don't think so. Because this way he has to start with an S to hit that spot. So let's do this. Okay, he does not hit that, and now I'll... Let's see, what do I want to do here? I think I need to use that spot. Probably just SHH, to be honest. It scores well, takes away that spot. Yeah, I think I'm going to go ahead and play there. Wow, what a rack for us here. 4 O's and 2 N's. Nice play of tie pin for him. Sheesh, what do I... Yeah, and how do I block this spot down here now? Yeah, this is turned into a much more dicey position than I anticipated it would. I don't want to play Boone because of the big comebacks, or Ono. Maybe Onto just to get rid of some tiles. Iron, no, that's terrible. Do I have anything here? No. Yeah, I need to make a move too. Alright, yeah, let's just clean up our rack somewhere. Let's just play Onto, I think. I need to make a move quickly. I guess, actually, after Boone, I mean, yeah, it's going to be tough for him to use this. He'd need to play, like, Flog. That's pretty unlikely. Yeah, let's just play Boone. I need to score, too. Okay, QIS. I'd love to block this. How do I... Probably just Hour. Yeah, this looks good, because he can't overlap this well. This is going to make it really tough for him to bingo. Fig, okay. That's fine. I don't think he has any bingos that are possible there. Ooh, no, because now he just blocked in his... Okay, I think we're fine. Let's just not flag or do anything stupid. ugly, ugly game, this one. Alright, let's just... Okay. Now I just need to not flag. I don't know, I'll just do that. Okay, 388 to 351, a win for us. I do not feel like I played well towards the end of that game. The time pressure aside, I don't know, bulky, I probably got too paranoid about a possibility that was much more remote than I thought it was. And then once he bingoed, it turned into a pretty sketchy position to hold on given my clunky racks. So yeah, not too happy about how that one went down in the end. But let's take a look, because I feel like I missed something at some point, like maybe with Crawl or a bit after that. So let's see. So he plays Zed. Yeah, the bot likes Dowdy, which I'm not surprised. I mean, it scores 2 more points, so it's slightly higher on equity. But I think Yao, just to set up that really strong E-hook, looks quite strong. So that looks fine. He plays Blag. Yeah, I think I saw all of the bingos here. I guess Mantled maybe would have been... Yeah, maybe Mantled is slightly better in this spot. Just to not put a Val next to this double order. Of course, overlaps here are still very possible. So, yeah, I think it's not a huge deal. Either way, Mantled gives back one more floater, but it's the M. So I'm not too worried about that. Doesn't make the Yaoed line, or Yao's a little bit easier to use. So it's close. I think Tandems is fine, but maybe Mantled is very slightly better. Maven looks fine for him. Yeah, negative does score the 1 more point, but I think sacrificing, as I mentioned here, just to keep it tighter definitely makes sense, given I'll be taking a sizable lead. Oof, rough positioning for him here with the Q. I don't think he should be playing Don. I mean, he's just really locking himself in. I don't like exchanging either, though, because it doesn't open anything new and he's down. And where's he bingoing after? This is a really ugly position, but he can't play Don and keep the Q on this board. I think I mean, maybe Cayenne, actually, just to... I know you keep the Q, but that way at least you open up some new lanes and give yourself more chance to maybe draw an I for a QI bailout play next turn. Yeah, I think I'd either exchange or play Cayenne. I kind of like Cayenne just to force open some new lines. Okay, yeah. I thought about Lux. This would be fine, too, to take out the N, but the X is definitely more flexible than the J, so I'm fine with getting rid of it. I think Jut is quite reasonable here. Yeah, and this is the problem with keeping the Q. Like, you need to bingo, and you're just stuck with it. Kef is a terrible play here. I mean, he's really accomplishing nothing other than scoring 23 points. He's closing down one of his most valuable remaining lanes, and he's keeping the Q. I mean, he's got to exchange, or yeah, I don't even know. I think he's got to exchange. He just can't hold on to this Q anymore. Yeah, XU, not surprised it ranks higher on static. Nixie would have been reasonable too. But I'm good with XI, just sort of stalling, keeping things tight. I keep a good scoring leaf having Sulky on my rack, so if he opens up the board, I should hopefully be able to score well in return. Again, now he finally exchanges. I mean, he has to at this point, keeping the Q. He's already kept the Q much longer than he should have. And yeah, this turn. So I played Bulky, which looks really weird to open up the board a bit when I'm up 100, but I mean, 2 things. One, the options that don't do something here are gross. I mean, I'd be looking at maybe Bull or, yeah, Bulb. Like, there's just very few options. Maybe Godly. And I was worried that he could maybe hit a big play ending in IZED, especially after a small exchange. He probably has a good bingo rack, and I could easily see Eternized, Romanized, Humanized, there's Canonized, there's many 9s that'll play their ending in ZED, and not only will they all score like 70, they'll also bust open the board and put himself in great position to come back. So I figured by playing Bulky, I'm blocking that, and yeah, I give him a couple tiles to bingo through, but if I can dodge an immediate bingo, then I should be able to play through the U or the L, block this all off, and then I'm in a really secure position to win this game. So it was sort of a calculated risk, which certainly backfired in the game. I think it's still defensible, just given how much better it is than my other options, and I do still accomplish something by blocking that ZED spot. It's hard to say. I'd be curious to know what other folks think of this play, but I mean, my other options are just so lackluster. Like, I don't want to play butt for 8. I mean, I don't know, is something like that really the best play? Or Bulb? I mean, Bulb still gives back a couple remote bingo possibilities, too. Yeah, I don't know. I obviously hate raising his bingo percentage too much, but I'd also hate to play something like Butt. He slaps down Humanized for 80, and then I'm barely up on this wide open board with a rough rack. So I don't know. Yeah, it's definitely a questionable play. But now looking at how bad my other options are, I'm not feeling quite as bad about this as I did during the game after what happened. I think it's probably okay. Of course, I gave him the exact tile he needed for his bingo, and this is where I think things maybe started to get a little bit off the rails for me. I probably maybe should have just played Law, which I thought about. I ended up playing Crawl just to try to block off some of these bingo lines, and I figured that if he made an opening playing next to it, I'd be able to block it pretty effectively, especially having the S. Of course, it turned out to not really be the case. So maybe I just play Law, figuring I keep a good bingo leave, and if he does bingo through one of these tiles, I'll be able to hopefully bingo back, or at least address it well. That may just be a little bit sounder than Crawl keeping the 3 consonants and allowing him to score while opening here. I don't know, I was also starting to get a bit low on time and kind of wanted to try to force the issue and get the board closed as soon as possible. So this is also a tough call. I think Crawl is defensible, Law is perfectly defensible. Kind of hard to say, but I don't think this is actually that big a mistake either, if it is at all. Yeah, I did give him, of course, a great spot to play off 3 of his eyes. And yeah, now this is where I started to panic a little bit, because I definitely didn't want to play Ow. I saw this, and I mean, this just gives back tons of big plays here. I mean, there's an F, a G, 2 T's, an N, an L. There's plenty of tiles that go here, and if he just plays like, I don't know, Stopper or something like that, that's 100, and he's probably got the advantage in this game. So I can't risk something like that. Whoa, of course, gives back similar. I saw Dow, I saw Down. These both just give back huge plays on the bottom. I felt at least with Wad. And I actually probably should have played Hod, H-O-D, I realized after my next turn, because I do prefer the H to the W, but there's so few A's left and there's so many O's that I'm putting myself in position to get overloaded with O's. So probably Hod would have actually been better if I go in this spot, but I figured with Wad, okay, it's not that easy to start with an S, and if he doesn't hit that this turn, I'll be able to go there and sort of block it. The problem is I give him easy scoring plays on the bottom left, which will open yet another lane, and then he's still just going to be within 1 bingo range, and it's very uncomfortable. So I don't know. There's just not a lot of good options here. I don't think Wad is a horrible play. And this is sort of why I'm thinking maybe Crawl wasn't so good, because I just overestimated my ability to effectively deal with these sort of plays like Miri next turn in a way that doesn't give anything back. So this is why maybe just a Law, kind of keeping things more open and keeping a more flexible leave would have been better. But very hard to process all that during the game, especially when you're worrying about time pressure. So I don't know. Yeah, until I'm in this position, Wad is probably alright. I still think Hod would have been a little bit better to get rid of the O. I guess you could make an argument for Down, since it's not that easy to underlap it with a bingo. But I don't know. You could also bingo in like ISE. There's still a lot of ways for him to bingo. It's just not a very comfortable position at all. He plays Pave. I didn't actually see Shun here. It's kind of a weird fact that doesn't come up too often. But the nice thing about SHH, well, the not nice thing, of course, is what happened. I keep a terrible leave. But the nice thing is it makes it harder for him to bingo, because now he's got to start with an S or a vowel. Whereas after Shun, he can start with many things here, right? He can start with like a G, a T. It's just a lot, P, L. It's a lot easier for him to bingo. So that's the downside to Shun. Of course, I just keep a better leave to respond to bingos in general. With HN, with a vowel heavy pool is really nice. So I'll be up 65. If he does bingo here, I can hopefully respond well and hold on and win the game. So probably Shun is just a little bit better here because of the better leave. Worth mentioning, non-currents, which I didn't see and certainly would not have known was valid, even if I did see it. It doesn't look like the right play. I think I need to address this spot. But yeah, I think Shun would have been a bit of an improvement over SHH just to keep a better leave. But in any case, he has a nice play of tie pin here, and I'm definitely starting to sweat because now all of a sudden I'm up 40, but I've got this horrible rack. Non-currents is almost certainly the play here. I keep 3 O's, but I definitely need those extra 10 points. So I think non-currents is the play here if I see it and know it, but realistically, I figured with Boone, plays like Flog are quite unlikely for him to have. He needs to have a lot of specific tiles. And even those kind of plays I should hopefully be able to outrun. And I just felt like if he bingos, I'm really going to want those extra 6 points. So that's why I did that over something like onto. Ono gives back a lot of easy plays too here. Although I guess maybe not that many, right? Yeah, maybe Ono is the play. Because now Flog doesn't even work. Yeah, I guess what is he really doing here after Ono, now that I think of it? Because he has to put an O before the NE. There's no A's. Yeah, I think Ono's actually the play, because now it sort of splits the difference, right? It scores a little more than onto, it still doesn't really give that much back. So probably Ono in retrospect, but I think I sort of looked at this and I was getting low on time, and I figured, well, he's going to still be able to hit this spot, so I should just might as well just take the extra points with Boone. But I don't think that logic really holds in retrospect. He can't cause that much damage next to Ono, so I think Ono would have been the better play. Luckily for me, he picks up the Q. He has no choice but to shed it. And now I'm sort of just like, okay, if I can stop him from bingoing, I'll hold on. So that's why I didn't like Ono, because this can still be overlapped pretty easily, either with an F or something like figures, or maybe just Estriel or something like that. So I figured after R, which I did, he can't overlap this, and he's pretty much going to have to bingo from this R, which is not that easy. It would have to be something like Royalist or Refigure in that pool, and if he doesn't hit it immediately, which he doesn't, I'll just block that spot. Or in this case, when he blocks the spot for me, which he probably should not have done. I'm not sure what he should have done here. I would have fished off a G to go for refilter. I think that's his best shot. Of course, I'm just going to block most of the time, but Fig just sort of seals his own fate. I mean, he's never bingoing after that. So yeah, it just never wins. I think you gotta try to at least go for the E. There's 3 E's left, and you never know. Maybe I just can't really deal with that spot. So yeah, at this point, I'm sort of just like, all right, let me not flag and hold on here. He's not bingoing, so I just played Zine to score. I know I'm keeping 3 O's, but I'm quite confident I'm gonna hold on since he doesn't have any bingos or scoring tiles. So yeah, he plays Elier. I make a slightly suboptimal endgame play under time pressure. S nets a couple more spread points, but as does Souse, but nothing wrong with Sue. He goes out for 9. Yeah, and a pretty ugly game here. I mean, I don't actually think I played that badly looking at it. I don't know. After Bulky, I ended up getting into a pretty dicey position trying to hold on. I feel like I just got pretty fortunate that he didn't hit a bingo when I was trying to play defense. And yeah, I think I made a bunch of just sort of questionable plays that were probably kind of wrong. Like Crawl was questionable, Wad was questionable, Boone was questionable, Bulky was definitely questionable, SHH I'm confident was wrong. So yeah, I don't know, a lot of weird plays at the end of that game. And under time pressure, I probably handled it reasonably well, but it's I'm still mostly curious about Bulky, whether it's just hindsight bias making me think that it was bad, or if it was the right play, and I could have just as easily gotten into this situation if I let him have an IZED play. So yeah, hard to say. Definitely an interesting game, sort of an ugly game, but yeah, I don't know. But in any case, happy to come away with the win. We now improved to 18-0. We're on a 7-game win streak. So let's see if we can keep it up in game number 29. So thanks again for watching, guys, and I hope to see you all soon for game 29, which will be coming your way shortly. Bye-bye.